Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you might be the most important thing you hear all year. Time is the one resource you can never get back. And right now, as you're listening to these words, seconds are ticking away that you'll never see again. The question isn't whether time is passing, it's what you're doing with the time you have left. I want you to think about where you were exactly 1 year ago today. What were your goals? What were your dreams? What did you promise yourself you'd accomplish? Now look around at your life right now. Are you living the life that person from a year ago envisioned? Or are you essentially the same person in the same place with the same problems, just 365 days older? Here's the brutal truth that most people refuse to face. Every year you waste is a year you can never reclaim. Every January 1st, millions of people make resolutions, set goals, and promise themselves that this will be the year everything changes. By February, most of those promises are broken. By March, they're forgotten. By December, they're making the same promises all over again, trapped in an endless cycle of good intentions and poor execution. But you're different. You have to be different. Because wasting another year isn't just about missing opportunities. It's about betraying the person you could become. It's about settling for a version of yourself that's smaller, weaker, and less capable than the version that's possible. Think about the compound effect of wasted time. If you waste 1 year, you're not just losing 12 months. You're losing all the growth, all the progress, all the momentum that would have built over those 12 months. You're losing the person you would have become, the skills you would have developed, the relationships you would have built, the impact you would have made. Time moves in one direction only, forward. And every moment you spend in hesitation, in procrastination, in making excuses, is a moment that moves you further away from your goals instead of closer to them. The gap between who you are and who you want to be doesn't stay the same when you're not moving forward. It actually gets wider, because life keeps moving whether you're participating or not. I've seen too many people reach the end of their lives with regret as their primary emotion. Regret for the chances they didn't take, the dreams they didn't pursue, the person they never became. They look back and see years, sometimes decades, of wasted potential. Don't let that be you. Don't let regret be the story of your life. The year ahead of you right now is a blank canvas. It's 365 days of opportunity, 8,760 hours of potential, 525,600 minutes of possibility. But here's what most people don't understand. That canvas won't paint itself. Those opportunities won't turn into achievements without deliberate, consistent action. That potential won't become reality without a plan and the discipline to execute it. You can't change the past, but you have complete control over what happens next. You can't get back the years you've wasted, but you can absolutely refuse to waste another single day. The power to transform your life exists in this moment, right now, in the decision you make about how you're going to approach the time you have left. Success isn't about grand gestures or overnight transformations. It's about daily decisions, consistent actions, and the courage to keep going when things get difficult. It's about choosing growth over comfort, progress over perfection, and action over analysis. Every single day, you have the opportunity to move closer to your goals or further away from them. There's no neutral ground. You're either growing or you're dying. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't necessarily the most talented or the most gifted. They're the people who refuse to waste time. They're the people who understand that time is their most valuable asset and they invest it wisely. They don't spend their days scrolling through social media, watching television, or engaging in activities that don't move them forward. They're strategic about the time because they know that time invested in growth compounds exponentially. Right now, I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from today, but not the version of yourself that would exist if you keep doing what you're doing now. I want you to imagine the version of yourself that would exist if you used every day of the next year purposefully, if you approached every challenge as an opportunity to grow, if you refused to let another day pass without making progress toward your goals. What would that person look like? What skills would they have developed? What would their bank account look like? What would their relationships be like? What would their health be like? What would their confidence level be? What kind of impact would they be making in the world? That person isn't a fantasy. That person is a possibility. That person is who you could become if you decide, right here, right now, that you're not going to waste another year. But wanting that transformation isn't enough. Hoping for it isn't enough. Even planning for it isn't enough. You need to commit to it with every fiber of you. You need to make it non-negotiable. You need to decide that the person you'll be a year from now is more important than the comfort you feel right now. This commitment requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to things that feel good in the moment, but but don't serve your long-term goals. It requires getting up early when you'd rather sleep in. It requires working on your goals when you'd rather relax. It requires choosing the difficult path when the easy path is right there beckoning you. Most people aren't willing to make these sacrifices. Most people choose immediate gratification over long-term success. Most people choose comfort over growth. Most people waste their years because they're not willing to sacrifice their days. But you're not most people. You wouldn't be listening to this if you were content with mediocrity. You wouldn't be here if you were satisfied with wasting another year of your life. You're here because something inside you knows you're capable of more, and you're finally ready to do something about it. The beautiful thing about personal transformation is that it doesn't require anyone's permission but your own. You don't need your boss to approve you. You don't need your family to validate your goals. You don't need your friends to understand your vision. You just need to decide that your current life isn't enough and commit to creating something better. Change is possible at any age, at any stage of life, in any circumstances. The stories we tell ourselves about why we can't change, why it's too late, why we're too old or too set in our ways, these are just excuses designed to keep us comfortable in our limitations. The truth is that as long as you're breathing, you have the capacity to grow, to learn, to improve, to transform. But transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. It happens when you create a clear vision of who you want to become, and then take daily actions that move you in that direction. Happens when you develop systems and habits that support your goals instead of undermining them. Think about the habits that currently fill you. Are they moving you toward or away from them? Are they making you stronger or weaker? Are they adding value to your life or just consuming time? Every habit you have is either an asset or a liability in the pursuit of The next 12 months are going to pass whether you use them productively or not. A year from now, you'll either be grateful that you started today, or you'll be in the exact same place, making the same excuses, wishing you had started a year ago. The choice is yours, and the time to make it is now. Success leaves clues. Look at anyone who has achieved something significant in their field, and you'll find that they have certain things in common. They have clarity about what they want. They have systems and processes that support them. They have developed the discipline to do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like doing it. They understand that consistency beats perfection every time. Most importantly, they understand that time is their most valuable resource, and they refuse to waste it. They don't spend hours on activities that don't contribute to their goals. They don't procrastinate on important tasks. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start. They understand that the perfect moment is now. Your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a practice run. The time you have is the time you get, and you don't know how much of it is left. You could have 50 years ahead of you, or you could have 5. The only thing you know for certain is that you have right now, this moment, this opportunity to decide who you're going to become. The year ahead of you is loaded with potential, but potential without action is just wishful thinking. You need to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be with concrete, daily actions. You need to become the kind of person who does what they say they're going to do, when they say they're going to do it, regardless of how they feel in the moment. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. It's what allows you to do the right thing even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when nobody is watching. But discipline isn't about willpower alone. It's about creating an environment and systems that make success more likely. It's about designing your life in a way that supports your goals rather than undermining them. It's about making the right choices easier and the wrong choices harder. If your goal is to get in shape, you create systems that support that goal. You stock your kitchen with healthy food. You lay out your workout clothes the night before. You find an accountability partner. You track your progress. You create an environment where success is the path of least resistance. If your goal is to build a business, you create systems that support that goal. You set aside specific times for working on your business. You eliminate distractions during those times. You educate yourself about your industry. You network with other entrepreneurs. You measure your progress and adjust your approach based on results. The key is to understand that you are the architect of your own life. You get to design the systems, choose the habits, and create the environment that will either support your success or Most people leave this to chance, and then wonder why they're not getting the results they want. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to what happens to you. You can't control the economy, the weather, or other people's actions, but you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. That's where your power lies. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to develop strength, resilience, and character. Every obstacle is a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Every setback is information that can help you adjust your approach and come back stronger. The people who achieve great things aren't the people who never face challenges. They're the people who face challenges and refuse to quit. They're the people who see obstacles as opportunities and setbacks as setups for comebacks. They understand that the path to success is never a straight line, but they stay committed to the destination regardless of how many detours they have to take. As you think about the year ahead, I want you to shift your mindset from hoping things will change to knowing they will change, because you're going to change them. I want you to move from wanting a better life to committing to creating a better life. I want you to stop waiting for the right time and start creating the right time. The right time is now. The right place is here. The right person is you. You have everything you need to start transforming your life today. You don't need more time, more money, more resources, or more opportunities. You need more commitment, more discipline, more consistency, and more action. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. The person you could become is waiting for you to step up and claim that potential. The life you could live is possible, but only if you're willing to do what it takes to create it. You can't waste another year because you don't have years to waste. You have goals to achieve, dreams to pursue, and a legacy to build. You have people counting on you, including the most important person of all, the future version of yourself. The time for excuses is over. The time for delay is over. The time for wishing and hoping and dreaming without action is over. The time for transformation is now. Your year starts today, and it's going to be the year everything changes, because you're going to change everything.